stuff, and I need to get back on that thing. So here we are, hanging out in the shop. As you can see, got the race car over here, golf cart sitting behind it, race car trailer outside, trying to get all geared up to go and race this weekend at US60. Man, this year has been I don't even know how to put it into words. It's flown by. I have not got to do near the amount of racing that I was hoping to do, and it really shows because I ain't been in a great mood lately, and that's why we're going racing this weekend. So I could run I think it's a 275 Extreme something. I don't remember the class name. I'll throw it up here. You guys can look at it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to step back a class more or less. Right now, the car doesn't fit, but can and will after we make these changes. It doesn't fit their street radial class. I don't remember what it's called right now off the top of my head, but US60 does these about once a month. For anyone that's local to Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, man, US60 is killer. They do a phenomenal job, great facility. The prep is, I don't think there's anything I've ever been on that's as good as this place. So, and I'll say that with absolute truth. I'll put that against anybody's word. So, yeah, looking forward to it. It'd be cool to go out and do a PB or something, like the boards. It's something I'm really leaning towards doing more of, is radial, small tire radial, boards lit type racing. It'd be cool to go do maybe one of Duck's races or something at some point. But right now, this weekend, we're getting ready to do the US60 race. So in order to fit the class that we want to run, I have got to put a passenger seat, which I have everything there to do that. It's just got to bolt a passenger seat in. I've got to put the dash back in it, which again, I have the dash. It's literally a bolt-in affair. I've got to switch to the 275 radial ET Streets or Radial Pros. They're a DOT radial. I'm on pro bracket radials now, so they don't fit the class because this is more of a street type class. Alternator, we're covered there. I'll be putting that back on. I already have power windows, glass. I fit everything else otherwise. Oh, turn signals. So we'll be wiring up some turn signals. Not a big deal. Yeah, just kind of wanted to give you guys an update, and you guys can follow along. I'll show you what we got going on here. Well, a little bit of change of plans, and I'm filming this after the fact. Thursday night, we ended up going testing. Didn't bother switching tires. Kind of didn't have time, like I said. Was going to put a dash, all that stuff in it, switch it over to street car, and didn't make time. Kind of got word last minute that the TSR guys were going to test at US60. So US60 Thursday night was doing a test session. Saturday's a race, to kind of highlight that. We went down. Of course, my son wanted to go, and it's a weeknight. We ended up staying late. Poor guy didn't get home till 5 o'clock, and I think he had to catch a bus at 6:15 or so. So don't judge me for that, but it's not something that happens all the time. Just, what can I say? He wanted to go racing. I ain't gonna complain with him. So, but overall testing went really well. I've been battling a wheelie issue. Sucks because that's kind of like, as you make a car faster, that's one of the things you really fight with is getting it to go without doing a wheelie. And some people think like, well, a wheelie's cool. It actually slows the car down most of the time because you got to knock it on its head to get it to set back down, or you slow the car down when you do that. So I've always kind of had a wheelie issue and thought it was the front struts. Got to the point where the front struts were full tight and they just out of control. Sent the struts off, had them revalved, quote unquote. I don't think they touched them, but because I've got shock data that shows that they never got changed, but who knows? I don't know. It's something that we're going to address it. So ended up going and basically limiting my front struts with, I've got, I'll kind of show you guys here. I've got these little aluminum guys, and as you can see, they're like, what's funny is it's settled some, so I could probably go another hole now, but I adjusted them in a way to where, at least that night at the track, they had like an 1/8 inch. Shock data showed, and travel sensor showed that they were moving maybe an 1/8 inch off the button kind of thing. So that allowed us to go a PB every run pretty much. First pass off the trailer was a 110, I believe, and that was probably due to me not sitting on the trans brake long enough. I thought it was a sportsman tree, and it was a pro tree. Just a little miscommunication. So I ended up not sitting on the trans brake as long as I should have, and I don't think it made the boost. So second run, it was 107, I believe, 107. So we went 110, like 30 something, 330, and then something like 107, another 107, 106, and 2 105s, I think. I don't know. Ended up going 292, I think. Yeah, in testing. So not bad. Definitely a personal best. 446, 447, something like that. Personal best again. So yeah, really glad we went testing. Obviously, I'm recording this after the fact, so I just kind of wanted to highlight some of that, show you guys kind of how that went for us. We called it. Bonehead move on my part. I clicked it neutral. The pass before this, I left it in gear. So I had it in my head like, oh, I need to make sure I put this thing in neutral. That's routine. It's what happens when you don't race for months on end. And then when you race one time every 6 months. So muscle memory. Looking good though. That was a PB 60 by a long shot. We've been 107, 106 all night, which is freaking awesome. 294, that is a new PB. 454. I'm hoping this next pass, if I don't click it early, I can go 440 something, so it'd be sweet. PB loading. All right, let's try this again. This is about the 5th time I've tried to do a screen recording, so man, testing went really well. I thought I would share some of the data log stuff that I was chit-chatting about throughout the video. In this particular case, this is our first run versus the second run. Basically, there was a misunderstanding on my part. Didn't realize we were on a pro tree, and I thought it was a sportsman tree, so I didn't sit on the chip as long as I should have. This is just a comparison of what happens in that situation. So we got the red RPM trace is me sitting on the chip for about a half second. There we build roughly, I don't know, 10 pounds or something when I leave, maybe 10 pounds roughly, versus one where I sat on the chip for almost 3 seconds. So we end up with a little more boost, 13.5 pounds, and it just kind of makes for a more stable, clean run. Obviously, it was in testing, not a huge deal. That's why you test. So this next portion here is kind of highlighting a run with wheelie control and a run where we didn't get into wheelie control. So you can see here, kind of move this again, move this RPM trace over so it kind of lines up. You can see wheelie control, RPM trace there, engine quits accelerating. That's what happens when you pull a bunch of ignition timing out. Actually, probably in the 10 degrees roughly over, 0.2 of a second or something like that. That stuff starts to add up. So here's a nice clean run, no wheelie control. The reason why there's no wheelie control is we tighten the front end up with the travel limiters a little more, and I lifted the wheelie control out of the way a little bit so that it was kind of harder for it to get to it. And that resulted in a, 3/10 roughly, 3 numbers on the 60 foot, and that makes, makes a big difference. So this last page here is that personal best run, last test pass. We ended up kind of seeing what we could get away with power-wise, and it got into wheelie control again. So be very interested to see how much faster we can make the car without having this, again, 2/10 of decelerating engine, I'll call it, ignition timing out of it for a minute, and how much it killed the thing. So just thought I'd share this with you guys. Figured some of you guys race, some of you guys are just interested in what I'm doing, and I look forward to sharing some of it with you. Is the car right? No. I do believe we still need to still maybe make a bar change. I might do that, but definitely need to get the struts off. And I'm thinking about going with something a little shorter body so I can lower this car down. Right now, the way the struts are set up, they're basically through the hood. So the adjuster's like I had to trim the hood to get them to fit. So you'll have that it is what it is. We're going to put maybe a different design front strut on it or something that gives me the hood clearance, but also allows me to lower the car, because I've got, I don't know, 2 inches I can lower this thing. So if we lower 2 inches, I don't have 2 inches to go with these struts because they're basically on the bump stops. But with a different design, I think we can get away with something a little lower the whole thing. And that'll help. I mean, I think we'll go, it sounds wild to say, but I think I can go 103, maybe 0.9 if I'm really, that might sound crazy for a small block, small cube, bigger turbo. Which brings me to another point. Talked to Bill Devine this week, and I might be sending the turbo off for upgrades. So one major red flag we noticed is its car's down a little bit on mile an hour. It has been 162, and we haven't been hardly near that since I've turned the boost up. So few different theories I've got floating around in my head. This cam, it's never made the same power as it did with an old off-the-shelf deal. And this is an off-the-shelf cam too, but it's a more overlap, less aggressive, more RPM. It's supposed to be easier on a less torque producing type cam to help with a stock block deal. But I have to cram a lot of boost in it, and that puts the turbo way out of its efficiency range. So just for instance, and I'll kind of show you guys this on data log, this thing on, I want to say 33 pounds of boost made 280, we'll call it, air intake temps. On 43 pounds of boost, 10 more pounds of boost, it made almost 400 degrees, if not 400. So we're definitely we got a lot of friction in the air, and we're making some heat. So that was why I called Bill this week to kind of figure out what my options are. Do I need to switch to a completely different turbo? I don't think so. This is a large frame Bullseye NLX unit, so GT55 based, limited there, but I don't think that we're at its limit by any means. There's guys with GT55 based turbos. Now they're on some nice engines that make 2,500 horsepower. I'm pretty confident. But we don't show any signs of back pressure. I mean, this thing's like 1.15, 1.2 to 1 back pressure. So we're not, gate's not pinned, none of that nonsense. It's just making a lot of air intake temp. So I think to help alleviate some of this, I might put a bigger compressor on it, and that'll help move more air and get away with more power on less boost. And I think that'll put us in a happier range. I'd like to go it'd be cool to go 420s with this thing, 4.2 something on a stock block, Cathedral port, as cast, trick flows, nothing special, hydraulic roller. And that's got to be decent. And for it to live, I mean, that'd be cool. So kind of my direction right now. I'm thinking maybe a cam change, compressor. I don't want to change it up too much because I'm afraid already that the bigger compressor is going to hurt our 60 foot possibly. So, but who knows, maybe it'll help. Only one way to find out. So kind of the gamble I think I'm going to take.